What is up, everyone? Welcome to the 53rd Quest podcast. I'm your host, Dark Optimus, and tonight, unfortunately, our
What
guest.
is up, everyone? Welcome to the
Hey now. I don't want to hear myself.
Whoa. You're not that cool that we need to hear two of you, man. Come on.
I know, right? Yeah, unfortunately, our guest had to cancel because he got sick. So old man Renz, wish you all the best, man. I know you're sick right now. It sucks. You can't be here, but hopefully you can come on again some other time and plug your Twitch channel and stuff like that. But I'm gonna get into our panel. Leo, what is up, dude?
Dude, you know me talking shit. I beat you on Chivos last month. That's so
You did.
victory there. You gave up because you have a life and I don't have a life, so victory, obviously. So good times. I'm ready to get into the topics and have a good show.
Yeah, man, definitely. Baines, what is up, dude?
Nothing much, man. Happy to be here another week and ready to get into these topics.
Definitely, man. And Remix, dude. I heard you, little birdie, that you were busy at college. You were doing tests.
Yeah, indeed. Midterms are coming up, but anyways, happy to be here another week of the podcast as usual, and get on into these topics because we've got some good ones this week.
Yeah, definitely, man. So, as you guys know, we always like to start out the podcast with what have we been playing this week. We're gonna start off with Leah. What have you been playing, man?
I got sucked back into League of Legends because a couple people I know are playing it. Really just playing it with them, but that game is fucking cancer. But I'm playing it because friendship. And over on Xbox, been playing a lot of Warframe. That game's pretty awesome. And I played a little Siege, and then on the side I'm playing some Majora's Mask on my 3DS. So I'm pretty well rounded. I'm well rounded this week.
Nice, man. Nice. Baines, what have you been playing, dude?
I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter World. And I was the main one talking about I don't want to play that mess. But now I'm stuck. So cheers to being able to change your mind, I guess. Because it's a really good game. That's about it.
Nice, man. Remix, what have you been playing, dude?
Yeah, man, I've been playing a bit of Siege this week, as well as I have dove into just the kind of beginning of Monster Hunter World. So that's it for me.
Nice. And me, your host for the evening, Dark Optimus, I've been playing mostly Monster Hunter World. It's awesome. I'm not gonna go too much into it yet because that's one of our topics for the evening, but it's good. So our first topic of the evening, PlayStation Plus games for February. What do you guys think of the lineup? I know there's Knack, there is Rhyme, which I'm actually kind of like looking at because I know Baines, you played it. You said it was really good. I'm thinking about picking that up and just playing that because it's free. I mean, if it's free, it's probably even more worth it. But what do you guys think of the lineup?
I mean, I think they're like fine little games. It's whatever. It's a little disappointing from like PlayStation's previous few months. Like they've thrown some AAA games in here and there. So, but it is what it is. Free games, and I'm not going to be playing either of them though. So, yeah.
I mean, I guess it just depends on where you're looking at it from, because I've played Knack, so they're giving away Knack for free, right? Mm-hmm. And it's actually a really good platformer. A lot of people shit on it, but it's actually a really, really good platformer. And then Rhyme is a really, really good indie. So I guess depending upon how you're looking at it, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of I played both of these games and I know that they're really good. I'm thinking PlayStation has another solid month. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So,
right.
Yeah, like I said, it just depends on how you're looking at it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. I think PlayStation has a more solid month than Xbox does. I mean, they had the split second, and I think Zombie was pretty much the only ones that I was like, okay, I'd probably get into those. But other than that, I was just kind of like, don't really care about the other ones. I can't even remember the other ones.
I would have played. I mean, so Xbox's games, are Shadow Warrior, which I actually own.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't really played much of it. I don't know if that game is really worthwhile. Some people like it, some won't. The second one looks like a lot better.
I started playing that, and it was terrible.
Yeah. I started playing it. I was like, this is bad. But the second one actually looks like, a lot better. Anyways, though, and then, I mean, I think Assassin's Creed Chronicles of India is definitely worthwhile. But, I mean, I haven't opted into it yet myself, but based off the China one, it's, I'm sure it's good, so.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I think those are comparable. I'd say they're comparable months, both months for Xbox and PlayStation. They're pretty similar. Like
they're both. I guess they're both kind of solid. I guess I mean,
Yeah.
Even though Xbox actually gives you 4 games instead of like PlayStation, where you have to like go to another console to play another game, things like that. I know they give you VR too. I think that one was like some like spaceship like type thing going on. I was just like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I mean the PlayStation Plus games, I was surprised that they didn't announce them earlier. Surprised they didn't announce them when Xbox announced the games with gold. Which was surprising.
It kind of just depends where in the month we do our podcast for when the games are released, because PlayStation is always like a few days after Xbox, I feel. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Any other thoughts on the PlayStation Plus games for February? Probably not, because I know Leo doesn't have a PlayStation, but
fuck PlayStation. I'm gonna spice it up today. Fuck it.
You gonna get spicy? All right. So Monster Hunter World, I know the 3 of us have played it.
Fuck Monster World. I don't know
what did you guys think of it before I get into my impressions?
I think it's a really solid game. There's a lot of content there. Fighting the monsters is actually really, really fun, and then the weapons add a different type of dynamic to it, because every weapon is different, and then every weapon has like abilities too. So it just makes the gameplay that much better. And I'm just finding so much stuff. Like I'm still going around in the ancient forest, which that's one of the first areas that you go to, and I'm just still finding different things, like new stuff from a Palico, and I mean, it's a lot. It seems like it's a lot in each area. And,
yeah.
They've done a really good job with packing content and then give you the monsters to hunt. Hunting the monsters, so far I haven't gotten bored, and I've hunted some of the same monsters over and over, for different pieces for equipment or upgrades and stuff like that, and each time it's still fun. So the grind is fun, and so they've done a really good job in this game. It seems it's a pretty big game too, man. And I was just reading another article about the in-game content, which it opens up and it gives you see monsters that you will not see, during where you're doing your initial quest, trying to hunt down that big dragon or whatever. Once you finish the game, you see the credits, then you'll be able to go up against new monsters that you won't even see in while you're going through the campaign. So I mean, even the end game is set for Monster Hunter. It seems like it's just a lot of content, man. They've done really good. They've done a really good job with setting this game up, and I'm hearing that they're gonna keep adding monsters and different things like that, for DLC, and that's free. So
yeah.
Hey, man, I know I was shitting on it in the beginning, but hey, I'm glad to say I'm wrong, because the game is really, really good. Man. I'm having a really good time.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. I was skeptic about it too. I was like, I don't know about this game, because I know Yukon. He's played the games before, and he was just like, dude, these games aren't that good. But I started playing this game, and I was just like, whoa, I was just like, dang. I started to enjoy it a lot. Like you said, Baines, I've been doing a lot of grinding with the, just killing monsters here and there. It's a lot of repetitive stuff, but I think the monsters switch it up so much that it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's one of those games that is kind of like a I wouldn't say it's a gem. I would say it's more like, you know, it's a really good game. It's really, you know, it's can be addicting, but it's definitely uh, a good look to the future of what Monster Hunter can do. Because I mean, before I didn't even really like Monster Hunter. I mean, I didn't play them, but I was just like, I looked at them, I was like, I'm not. That's not for me. And then I play this one, I'm just like, I'm loving it. I don't understand how that happened, but you know, it's just it's one of those things. I can't get enough of Monster Hunter World, man. It's just there's just so much going on in those little regions. You know, just
Mm-hmm.
you know, each region has its own, you know, like set of monsters, and you hunt those monsters, and then when you hunt those monsters, some of them are like, you know, they'll kill you in one hit. You know, a lot of them, some of them will. It's just like, man, you know, they really paid a lot of attention to the detail as well with the monsters. I mean, those like when they have the turf war battles and stuff like that. That's so
Yeah.
cool, man.
Yeah, it is.
That is so cool because they're like, you know, especially the Tortoise and the Baroth, that those two like fighting against each other, and then the Tortoise just like wrapping itself around the Baroth. It
Yeah.
was just that was
Yeah.
so cool, man. Seeing that kind of mechanic in a game. Yeah, I mean, even like with the weapons and the armor and things like that, it's just, you know, it's a lot of just, you know, learning the game and learning what your weapons can do. And right now I'm using the charge blade, and I didn't really know how to use it in the beginning, but now I'm kind of getting the groove of how to use it. And I think that just comes with experience. And
What
then
weapon are you using?
the charge blade.
Yeah, that's what I'm using too.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My
It took a little
secondary,
while.
but I also have a secondary weapon. Like I use the charge blade on like main quest, and then on side quest or just grinding that I use the insect blade.
Nice.
So yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played as much as you guys. I'm kind of more at the beginning area of the game, but based off what I have played so far, I am enjoying it. And I think the biggest worry about the game for people is whether or not, you know, the gameplay loop would get boring. Um, and I mean, so far from what I've seen, I don't think it'll be boring because, I mean, well, first off, I mean, like the battles are fun, and I really enjoy playing with friends. I know I played a little with you, Optimus, and Game hopped in with me as well. And you know, taking down the monsters with friends is just a lot of fun because one person can kind of be the distractor while the other person, you know, gets on their back and really does some good damage to the monster. As well as the game just has so much depth, like with you know, upgrading your armor and getting new armor, and you know, going back and killing a monster over again so you can get more pieces of that particular kind of armor, you know, to have a full armor set. And you know, even like just level it, like you can level up your scout flies and they'll show weak points as you go throughout the game. So plus I'm really a fan of the combat style so far. I've been using, I think it's the insect blade, and that's the only weapon I've used so far. But I just really enjoy it because it's like a really acrobatic weapon. You can get in the air and just kind of stay up in the air and then land on the monster's back and take him down. So I've been enjoying that weapon so far myself. But yeah, man, the game really just seems like there's a lot of actual effort put into it, you know, which sometimes games just don't seem like they had enough care. But this game seems to do it and has a lot of depth. So
Yeah, I agree. Now, Yukon, are you now, since you've heard all this stuff, are you interested at all to like dive into it at all, or are you just still on the fence of like, nah, I'm not all about that life?
You see, I don't have a problem with the way that the game looks good. You know, I could see me maybe getting boring with the gameplay loop, but you know, maybe it's fun enough to where it's not an issue. And then I heard that the the controls have been more mainstream for newer players. They can easily get into it. It's not as hardcore as the last one, which I had a lot of issues with personally. But I just don't feel like there's enough else there for me to give up playing all the other games that I'm playing to get into it. I need more personally. I need like some epic, crazy story action. I need more than just kind of just running out and punching monsters, which I'm sure it's fun, but for me to give up all the other games that I'm playing and like invest time, which seems like it's going to be a lot of time with a game like that, I need a little bit more.
It's understandable. It has a story to it. It's just not very deep into the story. It's just very, there's cutscenes here and there. There's not very it's kind of spread out with cutscenes and stuff.
Yeah, I would say
the story's just kind of there to move you on.
Serviceable. Yeah, it's just servicing the gameplay. I mean,
it's pretty much.
Okay, but the gameplay is the gameplay loop in Monster Hunter World is really addictive, and it's really good too. I mean, even down to a lot of the animations that happen, like they went really detailed with this game. The environments look ridiculously good. So
yeah, I think if I didn't have like I said, I got into Warframe. This game's got a lot of shit to do, and then I've been playing a couple other games, and I have some other stuff. I still haven't finished Assassin's Creed. Like I have a lot of games that I've been kind of like on the back burner, and so I feel like I don't have time for this game. And it's going to be a lot of stuff to do. I would love to come play with you guys, but I'm just not. I need more.
Yeah. Well, if you're hopping,
no, it makes sense.
Like Warframe, like that's obviously going to take up a lot of time, and Monster Hunter's another big game.
Yeah.
So can really only take one RPG on that time.
That's very true. Definitely true. So I know you guys probably heard as Monster Hunter World has problems with the multiplayer on Xbox. I haven't seen anything about them patching it yet. Are you guys experiencing these same issues, or have you just been going solo with it and just going into private matches? I know it's only really with matchmaking.
Yeah, it won't matchmake at all. Like I think I got it to matchmake once, and that was it. And then after that, every time it tries, and then it says, "Well, do you want to just proceed like going offline?" And I just say, "Yeah." So that's how I've been playing. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they beta tested this game on the PS4, and they didn't beta test it. Xbox didn't get any type of testing.
Yeah.
So I guess they figured if it's working there, it'll work for Xbox Network also, and that's just not.
That's another thing that like for me, I would have definitely played the beta to see like what the game was. I know me and Baines were on the fence before. Yeah. I would have definitely checked that out right away, but for some reason Xbox didn't get that. So if the game is like as fun as you guys say it is, I probably would have dropped the game just to fucking pick it up because I was hyped for it. But since I never actually I'm only hearing secondhand knowledge about it. That's
right.
It's kind of a weird decision. And then also talking about the fucking networking thing, it seems like a lot of issues could have been fixed, and they would have sold a lot more copies too if Xbox had gotten a little demo too.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
And some people I don't even think know that it is on Xbox for that very reason. They're like, oh yeah, because they hear the PlayStation news from the beta and stuff. But
I haven't seen an ad that has I've only seen ads that say PlayStation on them. I don't think I've ever actually.
Yeah, PlayStation has the marketing, so you're not going to see any ads that say Xbox at all.
Yeah. But
which is kind of fun. Go ahead.
Sorry. On the subject of matchmaking, real quick, I personally myself have not tried to do any of that, but I played with you, Animus, in a game, and we hopped in a match. So I guess it just has something wrong with finding other people, not like actually being online. But yeah, that's not something I've looked into at all. So go ahead.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's a problem, but I don't think it's a big enough problem to where I think it warrants people to be freaking out about it. I think there was only like a couple articles that I saw in the news, but that was mostly from like the head honchos, like IGN and things like that. And I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, of course they're gonna report on that. but it was just kind of like, oh well, matchmaking isn't working. I'd rather play with my friends anyways. I don't like playing games with randoms, and it's just not fun. Like playing with random people, I don't like it. But if my friends hit me up and say, hey, you want to play some Monster Hunter, then I'll play. Yeah.
Well, I think the matchmaking is more or less for the SOS flares, right? So just in case you shoot up a flare, somebody can automatically join your game. Or am I mistaken?
I think it's for the solo people, like they're playing solo, then all of a sudden they come into like a hard ass boss and like, all right,
right.
Let me load this shit up and get someone to help me out.
Yeah. So
yeah, that makes sense. Well, we're gonna move on from that. We're gonna talk about probably the biggest topic of the evening, and that is Microsoft may be buying EA, and apparently they may be in talks of buying Valve and PUBG. What do you guys think of this?
Go ahead, Benz.
I just thought it was bullshit. I mean, tell you the truth. First of all, I don't think they'll buy all three of them, not in one foul swoop.
No.
If it did happen, they would buy one, and it will be a while, and then they pick up the next one. It will be slow. And I think even this article, the guy from Polygon, if you read the article, I didn't read the article, but from what I heard, is he even came back and basically refuted what he said. He was basically saying it was like a dream, like if they did this, what if they did that, what if they did this. So
it was kind of like a portfolio kind of thing where they're talking about doing some acquisitions in the new year and what companies they would like to look into acquiring. It wasn't necessarily like, all right, we're buying this, like this is happening. It's more like, who do we want to buy out there? Who are we trying to get? And I think that they're more likely to, if I got to pick Valve or EA.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people would say EA, but I think that they're more likely to buy Valve because that's a market that they're not as strong in. I think they're pretty even with PlayStation, despite what a lot of people might say. I think they're pretty even in the console market. I think that if they Valve, they just automatically win the PC war like right on the spot because 90% of fucking gaming is on Valve, is on fucking Steam. Right. And I don't think EA would sell, compared to Valve.
I feel like Valve would actually be harder to acquire, but on the hand of like PUBG was one of the options as well. We've already talked about Microsoft possibly acquiring the rights to PUBG and acquiring Bluehole, just because
it would be a smart ass move. Yeah.
They have PUBG on there. You might as well put more money into PUBG and make it a better game and own it because it's so successful.
And I'm pretty sure they've talked to them about that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something in the works, whether one side's resisting or not. As for EA, on the other hand, the article itself really had no source. It was just kind of some random bullshit. But EA would be like a really interesting acquisition for Microsoft. I threw an article in the chat just saying somebody saying they don't think it will happen, but here are some reasons why it would actually be a really interesting idea, and EA has things that Microsoft would want, such as their sports franchise and their other big franchises, and I think a big thing would also be Origins, EA Origins, because that's actually been somewhat successful on the PC market. Nothing compares to Steam, but Microsoft has been trying to get into the PC market for like the last decade or whatever. So I think that would be actually a pretty big acquisition for them, the Origins, if they got into that.
I think it'd be pretty crazy if they bought EA and then fucking next day, all of a sudden, all these multi-platforms are all Xbox exclusives, and then Sony just fucking like dies on the spot. But I don't think that would. I don't think EA would do that. They would lose a lot of fucking. They pretty much. I think they would lose almost a whole fucking company if they decide to do that kind of shit.
Yeah, I doubt. Even if this, just speaking hypothetical, even if they bought EA, they wouldn't, Madden and all that stuff. They wouldn't put that as exclusive. They would still keep it multiplayer. Yeah. Same way they do with Minecraft.
You know what I think? Like the whole, like let's say they did buy EA, I think what would happen is, you know, they start producing these games, they would go to Game Pass day one. Microsoft would be trying to expand, you know, Game Pass, sorry. You know, they'd have it on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation, and even Nintendo if they could. And then, you know, and that's why they would also have this big push that they've been having for cross-platform or cross-play, because, you know, they'll have Game Pass on every console and, you know, be pumping out these games for it, and that would be the ideal Netflix scenario.
I don't think it would be like a all of a sudden, all right, now Sony doesn't fucking exist anymore deal. I think it'd be more realistic to think that Microsoft would get a really big advantage and they would continue to build it and they would slowly squeeze Sony out, I think is what would happen if they did it. That's why I think if they're sniffing around to buy EA, then fucking Sony's gonna be like, no, we got money too. We're not letting you fucking do this shit. Like, I don't think they'd let that shit happen without a fight.
Yeah, but I mean, Microsoft as a company does have a lot more money than Sony.
Yeah, they got a lot.
Yeah,
there's other ways to stop it. I mean, there's political ways to stop it because it could be considered a monopoly or whatever the fuck. So they could pour their money into some dumbass little politician asshole, and he could scoot in there and be like, "Oh, wait a second, you know, we have laws against this sort of thing. We all of a sudden care about because we were paid."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And that's the thing. I think, you know, if Microsoft did actually buy EA, you know, it could, you know, go either way. You know, it could go really good and we'll have way more games, you know, and things to play, or it could go really bad and weed out one of the consoles. You know, I don't want to see another console just get, you know, annihilated. You know, because I mean, I'm an Xbox guy. I love playing on Xbox, but I think at the end of the day, we still need that competition. We still need.
At the end of the day, competition is good because if Microsoft is the only one out there, then they're gonna start doing mess.
Right. Exactly. Yep. And if we don't have the competition, then what are we going to be? You know, we're all going to be playing on the same system. We're all going to be playing, you know, the same games. And then there's probably going to be even more loot boxes and more things and more people trying to gouge us for money and stuff. It won't be good for the industry. It won't be good for the consumer. You know, and I think, you know, if EA does decide to go with Microsoft, I think they'll play their cards right and say, you know, hey, we're going to still make games for PlayStation because, you know, we want to have multiplats on, you know, we want to make our multiplats. And I think that would be smart if they had that in their contract, if they do it. I don't think they will. I honestly think that they're going to say no. I don't think they'll do it. But I think maybe Valve has a good potential of doing, you know, going with Microsoft, but I don't know if that's even possible either because I think Valve makes so much money off of Steam that they're just like, we don't even care.
Well, not only does Valve make so much money, it'd be a harder acquisition because they're a privately owned company as well.
Well, I mean, it will actually be easier because they're privately owned, but majority owned by one person.
Right.
So all he would have to do is say, yes, I'm ready to go. Whereas you're talking about like EA, a board has.
Well, it depends.
That, you know,
I mean, it's situational. I mean, yes, he could say, "Yeah, I'm ready to go," but it's easier for him just to say. It's easier for him to say no. While for EA, it has stockholders that it needs to rely on, and
that's a lot more people.
But if some stockholders want to say no to Xbox and some want to say yes to Microsoft, you know, then you have a divide and. You know, the debate could go either way.
I think it's easier to pressure a board and they start pressuring each other, et cetera, et cetera. But you know, I think on the positive side, I think it would be good overall. You know, it would suck for competition in the long run, maybe, but with a larger market share, like available, I think it would be good for growth for Nintendo, and it could also be good for games that EA currently publish, which are all moving towards the games as a service bullshit, and then Microsoft hasn't shown as much of an inclination to do that kind of stuff. So maybe they could rein that kind of stuff in. So it could be possibly good for the gamer, at least in the short term. But it's, you know, it's hard to say.
Well, that's the thing. I think, you know, if anything, they have what a better chance would be for Microsoft to buy a company would be Bluehole, with PUBG and stuff, because I mean, if they can continue to push out content for PUBG, it's going to be, the game is already hot right now. It's going to be even hotter later. Even though, and then even when they add achievements to it, that's even going to be an even bigger thing, because I know there's a lot of people out there who love playing games for achievements, and a lot of people aren't playing it because there's a lot of people out there who haven't gotten it because
that's actually the only reason I haven't bought it yet. So
yeah. And it makes sense, dude. I mean, you're achievement hunter. You want to get those Chivos, and that makes sense. You want to see your gamer score go up, and I think a lot of people are like that too. They just want to see that rise in their gamer score. And I think if PUBG ever did add things to the gamer score achievements, it would be good. But yet, they'd have to be really good achievements, and they'd have to be probably pretty hard too. It just depends on what they add. But I mean, in the long run, I don't think EA is going to side with going with Microsoft. I also don't think Valve is going to do their thing with Microsoft either. I think it's just it's just up in the air anyways right now. It's not really anything that's set in stone. But I think at the end of the day, I think if Microsoft plays their cards right, they should definitely go with Bluehole.
Oh yeah, I think Bluehole is, the common sense acquisition. So, kind of, but
yeah, definitely the easiest of them, and they're probably the best of them.
So, you guys, any other thoughts on Microsoft buying EA, or anything about Valve or Bluehole?
Nope.
Before we move on. Okay. So this was an article that Baines, you put in. I'm gonna kind of throw this to you, but I'm gonna read the little thing. NVIDIA proves the cloud can replace high-end gaming rigs. The article I know was talking about the cloud being a huge huge thing for gaming. And being able to just basically replace the high end gaming rig and
replace high end. It's called NVIDIA GeForce Now.
Yeah,
I think it was. I think this was actually brought to the forefront like maybe 2 years ago, at CES, but it didn't come out because they were still working on it. It's in beta now. But basically, you can stream games like with ultra settings, all that PC stuff, the best type of game to any PC, like any old PC. I think the article referenced PCs at least 5 years old, and I mean, as long as you have a good download speed, the article suggests maybe 25 megs or better. For the best experience, 50 megs, you'll be able to play some of these big games. Like I think it was talking about The Witcher 3 and a couple of other games at the highest settings on your older computer via, just basically stream it with no lag or anything. The lag would be based solely upon your internet connection, and the servers are hosted on these powerful computers. From what I was from what I gathered from it, but that could be a big thing in the market, man. If it comes out and it works like it's supposed to, and it's decently priced, that can do a lot. That can move a lot of parts in gaming. Some things would change.
Yeah, and not even just like older computers, but I think a big thing is also laptops, cheaper under power laptop. I mean, I think I can't remember which kind of MacBook it was, but the person that wrote the article referenced to they played using this tech. They played on like a MacBook, and it was just fine. They said it was comparable to about a $1,500 build from 1 year ago, playing on this, and I mean, that's pretty crazy, dude. If that could really handle it, because I could be playing on my laptop right here, really high-end games with great settings. Obviously, the main caveat would be the internet, but even the internet qualifications don't seem, that high. I mean, I can play here at college, but like back at home, I could, I'm sure.
Right.
And like the specs they gave were really low, so I'll just throw out the specs for anyone that's interested. They said 3.1 gigahertz Core i3, 4 gigs of RAM, and the graphics card they gave, I think, is some kind of like laptop computer chip, so it's like different. But yeah, which are pretty low. I mean, my laptop has a lot more power than that, and it's pretty cheap for the market. So
yeah, i3 is not terrible or anything, but that's pretty fucking low.
yeah, and of course that's
can't
the
run
minimum.
PUBG on a fucking i3. Tell you that much.
Yeah, and of course that's the minimum requirement. So I mean, you're probably better off with at least bumping that all up a tier. But yeah, I mean that's cheap gaming with high quality. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing. That what they're doing over there at NVIDIA is really something revolutionary. I mean, they're taking like people who are playing on MacBook Airs and being able to play like something like The Witcher 3, and just by using the cloud. It's really going to change, people's perspective on buying a really expensive gaming rig, and I think it'll save a lot of people and a lot of the gamers a lot of money in the long run if they can, really streamline it and make it, really, even better than high end. Even go as far as to go beyond the high end gaming PCs and stuff. It's just it's a weird time in our history to see technology go into something completely crazy as the cloud is.
Yeah,
the way the cloud works, man, it's crazy. You can't even comprehend what the cloud can do, and it's always cool to see something like that.
It kind of seems like on the flip side here that NVIDIA might be shooting himself in the foot here. Whoever's doing this, like, if everybody can just get a good internet thing and they can fucking run this shit off a fucking an iPad or whatever the fuck, you run Witcher 3 on an iPad or whatever the fuck. Why the fuck would I go buy the
NVIDIA graphics card?
NVIDIA graphics
Right.
card? Like,
Yeah,
that seems like for long term, awesome for us, but not very good for the high end PC industry.
Well,
Yeah,
like
I
we
was
said
thinking
last
the same thing.
everybody seems to trying to be getting into some type of subscription model somewhere within their business. And this is the same thing because they're looking at it over a longer term. Like, they may take a hit in the short run, but if they get a lot of people subscribing to this service over and over and over again, it's going to be better in the long run. Everybody's trying to get into some type of subscription model somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same thought you had at first, Leo, and yeah, I agree with Baines. I think companies are creating these subscription models and trying to limit the amount of hardware you have to have in your house, and just be subscription-based services. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because it's gonna be weird because I don't know if people are gonna want to pay that subscription, but at the same time they might because they don't have to use a really beefed up rig. It's gonna be really interesting to see where this goes. We're gonna move on from that and talk about Red Dead Redemption 2. Guys, it's coming. It's coming in October. What the heck? October 26th? What? It was like when I saw that, I was like, what the hell is going on? I wish it was coming out in like June, because I remember before they were talking about it coming out in June, and I was like, oh, dude, that's a perfect time because, like summertime, there's no games, there's like nothing out at that time. It would be perfect. And then they announced today that it's coming out in October 26th. I mean, it makes sense. Give them more time. Let them really polish this game up because I know it's going to be really good. But it just sucks because it's like, man,
How do
I
you
wanted
know
to
that
see.
though?
Yeah, I know. But you know, it's Rockstar. You played, you know, GTA. You played.
I'm gonna play the old
Red
devil's
Dead
advocate, just
Redemption.
like you like me to do, Dark Optimus. and I'm gonna say that lately, in the 2017, has taught us that games that we think are going to be good might not be that good. I'm looking at you, Battlefront. I'm looking at certain games like this, and I'm the industry's changing, and I'm not gonna get hyped until I see more of this game. I mean, it's got a lot more of a multiplayer element. You know, we got loot boxes floating around. They made a shitload of money on the GTA fucking microtransactions. I mean, I'm just saying these things are floating overhead. We don't know yes or no what's going on with these things.
Yeah.
I think it could be we should hold off on our hype. Even though I love the first one, just like all y'all love the first one, it was great.
Yeah,
but I'm still wary. I'm not.
A lot has changed since that first one.
Yeah, they haven't earned my trust back yet. I'm so worried about the industry right now. So we'll see.
but that's the thing. I think, you know, I think you have something there because of the fact that, you know, all they've really been showing us is pretty pictures and pretty, you know, trailers and things like that, just making us look at the graphics. They really haven't shown us any gameplay. They really haven't shown us any, you know, missions that we're going to go on. They haven't really kind of, you know, and I know Rockstar is known for doing that kind of thing where they just, you know, they give us a little bit here and there, and then they give us a little bit later, and then things like that. But I think if Rockstar really wants to, you know, get people into Red Dead Redemption 2, they really got to show us some meat, some gameplay, some, you know, maybe even a story mission here and there, maybe, you know, something like that, just to kind of get people to be like, okay, I'm definitely interested in this game. And I know that the game is going to, you know, probably get a lot of people surrounding it because of the fact that Red Dead Redemption was a good game, the first one. And then, of course, you know, GTA 5 doing so well with its online multiplayer. But we got to remember that it's you know, a sequel, and, you know, sometimes sequels don't always pan out, but so a lot of times they do. So it just depends. But I mean, give them time. I mean, they're saying October 26th. So I mean, hopefully they don't push it again. If they do, then it's because they were trying to polish it even more.
I mean, either way, we're gonna see it. If it's coming out this year, it'll get a huge slot at E3. Right. We'll see a bunch of stuff about it, and then we can decide then. You know, I can't find myself being hyped. I was hyped about Battlefront. You know, like I still got that sour taste in my mouth. So I'm just not letting myself be hyped. I mean, until I see more about these games.
No, that was the thing. Like, even with like Monster Hunter World, like I know a lot of people were hyped for it, and I was just like, I don't know, man. You know, I'm not. You know, I'm not. I don't know if I'm gonna be feeling this game that comes out, and it's just like, wow, you know, it's a good game, but it's like Red Dead Redemption's a long ways off. But I mean, I think if it's coming out October 26th, so I mean, it's right around the time where Assassin's Creed usually comes out. So there might not be an Assassin's. Well, there probably won't be an Assassin's Creed this year. I even think they said that there wasn't going to be one this year. But I think, you know, it might be a good time frame for them to come out with this game. It just depends on if the game does well or if it gets the reviews. Because, you know, a lot of people still look at the reviews. A lot of people say that they don't care about reviews, but they still look at the reviews just to see what it got. Who knows? It just depends.
I think what I've said before about this one, as long as if they want to do it like GTA, cool. Just keep that multiplayer off to itself and keep all of that trash out of the single player. If they can do it like that, it'll be a good game. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to indulge in a single player if you don't want to deal with the loot box crap and all that. You know, just play the single player. I'm pretty sure the single player is going to be long. The first one was pretty long.
True.
So as long as they keep them separate, like they have GTA, then I mean, in that model has worked out for them, you know, really well. So I don't see why they would want to change it, but you know, who knows?
No, yeah. On the topic of polish, Optimus, I mean, this game has been in production for a long time. I mean, there's only so much polish you really can do. Like, I mean, this game, I don't think it really probably doesn't really need any more polish. But on the hand of of Leo, yeah, I'm definitely a little bit more skeptical about this game as well. I'm probably gonna pick it up, whatever the case may be, just because I love the first one and I'm excited for this one. But I am worried about, because of GTA 5, what are they going to put in Red Dead Redemption 2? We all know that they're going to have, some kind of big microtransaction system. We just don't know how big they can make it because it is, in a wild, wild west instead of a modern day time period, So we'll have to wait and see where that goes. But
I'll have to sell you the $1 million horses or some shit, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If this really is just about the multiplayer, and that's just why. Who cares? Like give us the single player game first, and then give us the multiplayer like you did with GTA. Like
GTA 5 launched with no multiplayer, so
exactly. So if they're doing that because of that, then stop. Just don't do it. But we're gonna move on from that. We're gonna talk about Extinction. Extinction is a game where you fight big giant ogres, and it's a real time type of. It almost kind of reminds me of Sunset Overdrive in medieval times, with its like mechanics and kind of cartoonish style. But it's coming out in April 10.
So this game reminds you of Sunset Overdrive?
Yeah, it reminds me.
I think the art style.
The art style.
Close.
The art style. Yeah. I mean, maybe I haven't looked that closely at it. I just watched like the little trailer that was linked to the article. But yeah, sorry to cut you off. It did say April 10th. In case anybody missed that when the game's releasing. Personally, I don't know. I might have to look at the game more if you think it has that style, because then I might actually be kind of interested. But based off just the little bit that I've seen, it seems kind of cool and interesting with the different, the different armor on like the ogres. You have to take them out differently and stuff. But probably just not my kind of game. Seems kind of similar to Attack on Titan, although this one seems a little bit more Western, a little bit less weird, so to say. But yeah, I don't know. I'm probably just not gonna pick it up because there'll be other games that I'll be wanting to play, and this one's not up on my list. So
yeah, that's the thing with this one. It's coming around at April. What's coming out around then? That's.
Well, I mean, the rumor is that
we want to play.
I mean, all the March games come out before it, so.
They're not official, but there are rumors that Crackdown and State of Decay 2 are going to be launching April-May timeframe.
Well, then there you go. I mean, are people really going to gravitate towards this game or not? I mean, it looks cool. I mean, it looks something that I would play and have fun with. But I mean, I don't know. It really just depends. I mean, on how they market this game and how they kind of approach the consumer with it.
Yeah,
they can't do microtransactions.
We've got stuff coming out in late March, so I'm sure I'm gonna pick up something else and play that instead.
It looks like it's going to be one of those games that fly under the radar. I remember seeing this at E3 and thought it looked pretty fun. It kind of reminds me of a busier, more colorful Shadow of the Colossus type game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Taking down those.
You gotta jump all over them and hit the spots and shit. I think
exactly. So I'll probably take a look at it when it comes out. It's not a day one or anything, but I was interested. I remember watching some gameplay at E3. So when E3 was around last year, and I was interested in it then. So I'll definitely look out for it. But it just seems like it's going to be one of those games that fly under the radar because a lot of people don't. It doesn't seem like it's getting a lot of traction right now. Either way,
yeah, it's really not.
I don't think it's really had much push for advertisement. It seems, as well as I don't even remember it being shown at E3. Therefore, it obviously didn't catch my attention then. So,
yeah, and I think the reason why you didn't see it too much at E3 is because it was on a smaller stage
or something like that.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, you a lot of people watch E3 for the big stuff, like the Xbox, the PlayStation and Nintendo usually, and sometimes people will watch Bethesda. Yeah, Bethesda, the last one wasn't that good, but people watch it for the big, big three really.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard to kind of see it.
I'll watch like the After Day stuff as well, but since this past E3, I was there, so I obviously wasn't watching any of it. Like all the little smaller stuff that they do afterwards, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's this game. I don't know. It's coming around the time where. Who knows? Who knows what's coming out? Especially since UConn told us that State of Decay and Crackdown are slated for that time frame. And they're going straight to Game Pass. I mean, I think a lot of people are just gonna go play those games on Game Pass. But we're gonna move on from that, and we're gonna go into our last topic of the evening. Nintendo confirms they're working on a Mario movie. Now, before you get into any ideas, that it's not a live action movie. It's a cartoon movie by Illumination, who made Despicable Me, Minions, those type of movies. The company that's doing this movie, I don't really have too much faith in them because of the fact that they haven't really made like a super blockbuster type of cartoon movie. I mean, yeah, Minions did well, Despicable Me does well, Secret Life of Pets didn't do well at all. It's just kind of like
when the first Despicable Me came out, that was a pretty big hit though.
Yeah, well,
that's by far their biggest, I'd say. I mean, they're still making they made a spin-off Minions on it. That shows its success there alone. I think I don't really care about this company. Like I don't know with this company. I don't say like, oh, they're gonna make it or they're not, or they're gonna just do shit or whatever. But I think this is actually kind of exciting. I feel like Mario is a cartoon. He has a lot of potential to be in a movie or even a TV series. I think it makes a lot of sense for Nintendo. Because I mean it's just a bigger money maker, and I feel like it's going to be a little bit. I mean, I know I say this, and then they'll probably fuck it up, but I feel like it's probably harder to screw up something like Mario than some of the live action stuff we've seen in the past, like say Assassin's Creed or something.
Right. But that's the thing. I mean, Mario is not really. I mean, he's a great character. He's a beloved character in Nintendo, but he's not a character that you can really get creative with, because he's gonna be, because Nintendo's really gonna put their foot in and say, you got to do this, you got to do that. You got to keep straight with Mario and his story, and then it's like you have to stay on that path. And it's not like the Lego movie, where the Lego movie was really like, it was, on paper, it probably was a disaster, but when it came to theaters, it was brilliant because you can pretty much do anything with the Legos, and you can't really do a lot with Mario. You have to stay in that realm. You have to stay in that universe. And
yeah, I mean, I guess it'll be like an Adventures of Mario kind of movie. I feel, I mean, I guess Mario's main setup is kind of, Peach gets taken by Bowser and he goes and saves Peach. So, I mean that I don't see it having longevity if they do that.
Right.
Say with a TV, like let's say TV, for example, but for just a movie, sure, they could make a movie where, Princess Peach gets stolen and Mario has to go and save her, if that's the concept that they'd end up using.
And that's the thing. It would only be one-shot movie. It's not going to be sequel after sequel because of the fact that what Mario's going to say Princess Peach every single damn time. Like, it's just like it's just
Mario's been saving Princess Peach for like 50 games in the last
Exactly.
That's true.
25 years. They'll make us say that hell every day. They'll make us say all over the place. For
But
me, I was hyped until I found out it was going to be animated. To be honest with you, I mean, I don't give a fuck about an anime. Yeah,
I would rather see the animated than because did you I don't know if you did you see the old one back in the day, the one that they had? That's what
I mean that.
Yeah, that's what I think
that
about
one's not the best,
when you talk about Mario. So when I thought about when somebody said Mario movie, I thought about that immediately, and I was like, I don't want to see that shit. But then when you said animated, I was more interested. I was like, okay, then maybe that'll be a little bit different, you know.
And yeah, it's got Shigeru Miyamoto, you know, a part of it. So I mean, it's gonna probably be, you know, somewhat decent.
And
I think
also,
it's gonna be boring, man.
To say one more thing on
it's
the whole
you're
TV
not
series.
into cartoons. You're not a kid at heart.
Yeah,
I watch cartoons all the goddamn time.
This is also for kids. So speaking of the what the storyline is going to be, let's say they did do a TV series, which, you know, all they've confirmed is a movie. But I mean, a Mario and Friends TV series where it's just like they do random stuff and like, I don't know, stuff happens in this Mario world. Like that could definitely be successful because if it's a kids show, you know. I mean, look at, I don't know, fucking Care Bears. I mean, it's just a bunch of Care Bears in a Care Bear world. But, you know, but like
Care Bears.
Kids like that stuff. Yeah, I mean, well, I was trying to think of something relatable, you know, or look at Mickey Mouse and like
Sonic had a series back
in that world. The Mickey Mouse like house or whatever they called it, you know, show. Like it's just gonna be stuff like that.
The Mouse House.
Yeah, that's what I feel like, you know, they could do with Mario because they have other characters like Peach and Toad and
I guess, so. But I mean, you know, if it's going to be really about Mario, it's got to have just Mario, you know, basically as you know, he's the main character.
Well, they said that they're going to have all the other characters.
Yeah, they'll have all the other characters, but he's the main, you know, guy. The plot's gonna follow him. The plot's gonna follow him, and there's not very much plot there to follow.
Yeah, but Mickey Mouse is.
I think Remix tapped out there. Any other thoughts on Mario movie, guys?
No, like I said, I wasn't interested when I first heard it because I thought about that old school Mario. But now that that you told me it's animated, I'm more interested now. You know. So,
yeah.
We'll see.
All right, man. Cool. So we're gonna get into our outros, but before we do that, I want to thank everyone who has come out to watch us tonight. We really do appreciate it. We always have a blast doing this podcast. If you guys don't know, definitely go check out our Facebook page. It's in the description below. We definitely will appreciate it if you guys go over there and hit that like button over there. And then also, of course, over here, hit that like and subscribe button because we definitely do appreciate that. So, Yukon, where can they find you, man?
I'm Yukon Corns on Twitter, talking shit on there. And then I'm Yukon Cornelius on Xbox. Also talking shit on there, but also, you know, game my ass off.
Nice, dude. Yeah. Baines, where can they find you, dude?
MBaines99, PlayStation, Xbox, and Twitter. And I enjoyed the show. We miss Renz. Hope he gets well. And yeah, that's it.
Remix just let us know that his mic doesn't work, so we're gonna skip him. I was your host, Dark Optimus, for the evening. You can find me on Twitter at the same name. You can also find me on Xbox Live at the same name. And definitely appreciate everybody who's been subscribing to us in the past couple of days. I know Monkey Punch, dude, you just subscribed to us, so welcome to the Quest Podcast family. We definitely appreciate everybody who subscribes. So we're out, people. Have a good night.
Peace.
Later.